What's up, pilots? I'm Dartigan and you're watching Titanfall Nexus. In today's update, I go over the recently revealed location and possible campaign map Demeter. We discuss the controversy surrounding the Xbox One and the recent nasty trend of launch games running at 720p. And finally, we PC gamers breathe a sigh of relief that Titanfall will not require a copy of Windows 8 to run. In the past few days, Respawn revealed two new images from the Collector's Edition art book. The first image is a detailed model of a pilot with special detail given to his helmet. You can check that out if you're interested, the link will be below. But it was the second image that caught my attention. It seems that Respawn may have very quietly just revealed a new campaign map because I haven't seen this mentioned anywhere else. The image in question is a planet named Demeter. According to the description, Demeter is some kind of giant refinery and refueling station for the IMC military starships. The description goes on to point out that Demeter is a high-value military target for the militia and that the IMC forces are dug in to defend it. Suspiciously absent from the description is an explanation on how the hell this planet is habitable when it's close to a star. I mean, look at it, it fills most of the sky. This planet should be a molten ball of lava. I don't know, maybe there will be a perfectly good explanation in game as to why this is. Maybe they won't just hand wave this away. I digress. Another thing not mentioned is whether it is in fact a campaign map. Given that it is included in the art book and it appears to be fully modeled, I would strongly suspect that it is. Demeter seems like a nice contrast to the colorful Angel City map we've already come to know in previous videos. With pipelines and giant towers dominating its geometry, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch of the imagination to picture pilots and titans slugging it out here. I don't know about you guys, but industrial style looking maps tend to end up becoming my favorite in most games that I play. Let me know if you think Demeter is a new map or not. Frame rate, ladies and gentlemen. Frame rate and resolution. Specifically 60 frames per second and 1080p. That's what everyone is talking about in regard to the Xbox One and several of its launch games. Unless you've been living under a very heavy rock, you've no doubt heard that such games as Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Rise Son of Rome are not running natively at 1080p. No, they upscale from 720p on the Xbox One. This, of course, has me a bit worried. That so many high-profile games on the Xbox One seem to be having such trouble keeping up with their PlayStation 4 versions. It seems that for Xbox One games, you can either have 60 frames per second and 720p, or 1080p and 30 frames per second. And Respawn has made it quite clear that Titanfall will run at 60 frames per second, the same target that Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 had. So it begs the question, will Titanfall run at 720p to hit that 60 frames per second target? There isn't a doubt in my mind that Respawn wouldn't sacrifice resolution for frame rate. Given the developers' past games and statements on the issue, we know that they consider 60 frames per second a complete necessity when it comes to shooters. And I have to say, I agree with them. Once you played shooters at 60 frames per second, going back to 30 frames per second just feels sluggish and not at all acceptable. If you want to be taken seriously as an esport, you need 60 frames per second in-game. Bear in mind, this is of course all speculation. No statements on what resolution Titanfall will run at have been made. But we have no choice but to consider this in our discussion. Microsoft is solely responsible for its hardware decisions and will surely be kicking themselves that the most promising next-gen game is hobbled because of it. Let us hope that doesn't end up the case. Of course, if you're buying the PC version, you have nothing whatsoever to worry about. And speaking of the PC version, that brings us to the final point in today's update. PC gamers will be happy to hear that Titanfall will not require Windows 8 to run. Given how close Titanfall is now tied to Microsoft, I'd heard some people talking about a worst case scenario where the PC version would be Windows 8 exclusive, like recent games Halo Spartan Ops and Skulls of the Shogun. Not to mention DirectX 11.1 features being exclusive to Windows 8.1. Respawn's Abby Hepp, I think I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, wrote, Titanfall is releasing simultaneously for Xbox One, 360, and PC. It will not require Windows 8 on PC. So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth in fact. All Windows 7 users like myself can rest easy knowing we dodged that particular poison pill. That's it for today. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll be covering all the latest news and speculation from now until launch. See you next time, pilots.